So today we're near Salisbury, Connecticut on the Undermountain / Bear Mountain, Connecticut Trail. Not to be confused with the Bear Mountain, New York Trail, which I also did, which is about 2 hours from here. Right near the parking lot is actually a privy, so if you need to use the restroom before you get on the trail, or when you're done, there's one there, which is handy. And there's also an information board where Smokey the bear tells you to be careful. Always nice to see Smokey. But I hear there's a really nice view at the top of Bear Mountain, one of the highest points in Connecticut. We're out here in late November. It's a little cool. At night it's definitely been getting below freezing, and during the day just a bit above freezing. So it's cool, which is why I'm bundled up pretty good here. The trail starts out with blue blazes, and apparently we're supposed to meet up with the Appalachian Trail, which of course is marked with white blazes. So, because we're hiking in late November, we're definitely right in the heart of hunting season here. So, we need to be smart about what we do. Definitely making noises like talking that alert any potential hunters that you're not an animal are a good idea. The other thing about hiking in late November is because the temperature is cool, naturally you want to bundle up. I think I'm gonna have to start paring down already because I'm already sweating. I don't want to do that. It's supposed to rain when we get around 6 o'clock or maybe earlier, so I want to be out of here before that happens. But just in case I get lost or something, because I haven't been here before, I have my sleeping bag and tent, so if I get caught in something, I'm prepared to deal with it. Not sweating is important, so I'm gonna have to start paring down, keep the heat under control, even though it's late November. Alright, it's getting a little cold at this point. Maybe I took off a little too much. Let's put a little bit back on and then get going. So we're still on the initial part of the trail. We haven't reached the fork yet. We have to go left or right on the loop. It's a constant, about 10-degree incline with all this gear. It's definitely taking its toll. But it's a nice view so far. It'd be even nicer if, there's that fall foliage still on the trees, but missed that by about a month. Alright, here we have some nice flowing stream. It's not really a big stream, but it's fast moving, and again the nights are getting near 0 degrees, so this water's probably pretty safe to drink because it's just so cold. It's pretty unlikely anything's going to be living in it, so I can't help but try it out here because I don't know, I just like natural running water, I guess. That tasted really good. It's nice, cool, crisp, refreshing water. Very nice. So we've come to the fork in the road where we either have to go left or right on the loop. Paradise Lake Trail is on the right, but our guide tells us to go left, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go left. Why go hiking in the fall? It's so cold, especially if you're in the north somewhere. Well, as we've seen today, being cold is definitely not a problem for me, at least. I'm definitely paring down to make sure that I'm not too hot, which is a nice contrast versus summer. You know, there's only so far you can pare down in summer, which basically means you just sweat, especially if you're carrying a heavy pack. But now, I just mild perspiration, really not too bad, very comfortable, and there's pretty much no bugs. All the bugs are dead, which, especially if you're camping at night, can be a huge factor during the summer. Chance to wash my hands, maybe have another little drink of water. Looks like it's moving fairly well. That water's really delicious. It's just so nice and cool and crisp. And hopefully a bear just didn't pee upstream in it, but I mean, you're always taking a risk when you drink from water like that. There's a little log bridge. I take it that the water underneath it is a bit more of a stream at some point of the year, but right now it's just looks pretty stagnant, so. But I'll use the bridge to walk over. That's nice, especially if it was a much larger stream. Sure is a beautiful little creek right here. If I had more time, I'd probably just want to hang out here, you know? Just enjoy the sound of the water and relax. Unfortunately, it's supposed to rain later today, and considering the temperature, I definitely don't want to get caught in that. Alright, so we're now at Riga Junction, which is where the Appalachian Trail intersects the Blue Trail. So now we'll be following the white markers instead of the blue. And we're about 1.9 miles in. You're going to want to go what's going to be on your right to go to the Bear Mountain Summit, which, as the sign points out, is also north. So it'll be on your right. If you go what'll be on your left, you'll go off on the AT Trail to I don't know where, but you're not going to be on the loop. So presuming you want to be on the loop, make a right. Head white marker on the tree, which is on the east coast, indicative of the fact that you're probably on the Appalachian Trail. And in this case, we definitely are. So we just want to keep on following the white blazes. And here, the white blazes, and of course the big green sign, say turn right. So naturally, we follow the sign and turn right. So we're over 2 miles in at this point, and the trail is just keeps going up. A slow but steady incline. It's almost a little deceptive, you know, because you're not heading up that really steep part, but you just keep on going up. You know, anywhere between 5 and 15 degrees for most parts. But it doesn't really flatten out anywhere, and it certainly doesn't go back down. So, definitely a nice little exercise, that's for sure. But it's not too bad. Certainly nothing so far that requires any particular skill as far as hiking goes or experience. Just the will to keep walking up the hill. That's all you need so far. We'll see how it goes from here. I heard that there's some point where it gets a little more, little hairy for quarter mile or something like that, or half a mile. Which hopefully it does, because those are usually the fun parts. We'll see. Alright, so going up what could best be described as a crude rock stairway. It's actually kind of reminds me of the hike in Bear Mountain, New York, where they had a lot of rock stairways. Except this is definitely more crude. The others were more, well, more effort put into it, I guess. But this is kind of neat. Alright, we're not at the top yet, but we're definitely high enough that you can start to see stuff around here, just standing on a bit of a rock. So, let's have a look. Alright, granted, this would probably be more exciting a month ago when there was a lot more fall foliage, but we're here now. You can see we're starting to get up a little high, as you can probably see a bit down into that valley. I'm imagining that we're a pretty good part of the way up at this point. Just looking around, maybe 2/3 of the way up, I don't know. So, I'm starting to actually get a little bit cool here. Unfortunately, because I've, you know, carrying so much gear up the hill. Even though I've stripped down, I'm still sweating a fair amount. And really on my back, I guess because I got the pack and there's just no circulation back there. So it's actually pretty wet on my back. And getting a bit of chills. So it's probably a good thing I took off my t-shirt earlier. So this way, when I get to the top and I'm on my way back down, I'll probably take this shirt off, put my t-shirt on, and maybe my jacket over top of it or something. This way I'll be dry. So when you get wet back there, it's, you know, the air temperature out here is just so cool that, you know, it just kind of freezes you a bit. Even though I'm still hot and sweating in general, my back is really cool. So I definitely want to be careful. Alright, well, we're still getting close to the top, I guess. I can't see much hill further up, so we're getting there. As you can tell, it's overcast late fall day, but it's nice and peaceful out here. I've ran into a few people. Thus far they've all actually been older, maybe in their 50s or 60s. So I guess anyone who's in, you know, reasonable shape, this seems like it could be a hike for you, which is great. That you know, everyone can enjoy it. So if you're thinking about coming out, I'd say go for it, because it's really nice. Something I've been curious about for a long time. The fascination with walking sticks and poles when people go hiking. I don't really get why people use them. I'm not saying you know, you shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't understand it. I guess if you want to use it for protection or something, if you run into a snake or something like that. Personally, just carrying this camera with me, I find kind of cumbersome and not particularly appealing. So it always strikes me as curious why people choose to hold walking sticks. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just curious why people do it. So maybe if you have a walking stick that you carry regularly, maybe you can tell me. There's probably a good reason why so many people carry it, I'd imagine. Maybe I should be too. I don't know. Alright, well, looks like we've made it to the top. And you know you've made it to the top by a pretty simple observation of this massive stone pyramid. So we're at the top, Bear Mountain, Connecticut, and stone pyramid, and one of the best ways to get a nice view is actually to climb to the top of it and have a look around. So let's do that now and see what it looks like from the top. So this is the eastward view from the top of Bear Mountain, Connecticut. This is probably the coolest view from up here, where you're overlooking the valley below. A lot of nice green grass down there, and that lake is really beautiful from up here. Just overlooking the whole valley and seeing mountain ranges in all different directions. It's a really nice view. Definitely worth the climb up. So the top of Bear Mountain from the stone pyramid, we're about 2,500 feet or so up, and it's a pretty cool view. Alright, so you probably can't read this stone tablet, but basically what it says is that this is the highest point in Connecticut, and in 1855, when this tablet was made, that was accurate as far as I knew. Apparently it's not quite 100% accurate. Another peak near here is apparently the highest point in Connecticut, but since I wrote it in 1855 and they were pretty close, I think we can cut them a bit of break. But there we are. Here's the pyramid behind me, tablet, and a great view just at the top. So, welcome to the top. And you've probably noticed I've changed, put my jacket back on. I took off that red shirt I was wearing, put on a couple different t-shirts, because it was just so wet from the sweat that now that I've stopped moving around, I'm not carrying that big backpack since I'm shooting up top here and enjoying the view. I'm just starting to get really cool. So a little preparation, making sure you have some dry clothes to change into, if you're in cold weather and think you might be sweating. Definitely a good idea, and definitely making this much more enjoyable than if I was up here with wet clothes. Alright, so we're back underway. This part of the trail right after the summit, when you're going counterclockwise, is actually the steep part. So we're going to be going down the steep part versus up the gentle slope, which we kind of came all the way up. If you're like me, you may actually want to do it the other way around. I didn't realize that I'd be going up the gentle slope and down the steep side. Kind of like climbing the steeper areas. It's just, more fun for me. I don't know about you. So you may want to consider doing the loop clockwise instead of counterclockwise like we're doing today. So I'm still going down. Looks like it's been about on average maybe a 45-degree decline thus far, and looks like this continues for a significant while longer, so maybe a quarter mile or half mile in total, where you're just going down this sharp decline down a rocky path. And I don't know, I think it would have been more fun to go up it. I don't really like going down sharp declines. I think there's a lot of increased risk to fall because of your momentum already going down. And I don't know, I just find it more fun going up it, so I really wish I went the other way. But here I am, so we'll continue down this way. Alright, here I see some ice. Definitely has been freezing here over the night. Although I do have my backpack, my sleeping bag and my tent. It could very well, it probably will turn into freezing rain tonight, since it's supposed to go pretty far below freezing. So I don't really want to get stuck out here, so I think I'm going to try to pick up the pace, make sure I can get out of here, because the sun's, at this time of year, sun sets real early, and it's already around 2:30. It looks like we've come across some more signposts with directions. That's really one great thing about this trail is everything's very clearly marked, so it's almost impossible to get lost, which is great. So it looks like we're approaching Sage Ravine. This is why it's important to pay attention to signs. We could easily just skip by the sign and keep on going on this trail, which is the same markers, the white trail, which is the Appalachian Trail. If we didn't pay attention to the sign, we wouldn't notice the Paradise Lane Trail, which is where we want to go if we want to loop back to the car, is off to our left. If we kept going this way, we'd be continuing on the AT Trail, and well, we'd probably be pretty unhappy when nightfall came and we didn't find our car. So now that we're back on the Blue Trail, it's about another 3.2 miles to where our car's parked in the lot at Route 41. It's I think it's probably getting close to 3 at this point, maybe 2:30, I don't know. But got some time to make up. Thankfully, if I do get caught out here and I'm pretty close, I got a headlamp with me and a crank flashlight, so I should actually have plenty of illumination to continue going if I so choose, and I don't just choose to set up my tent. We actually are really close to the campgrounds, so I could just throw up my tent there too as an alternative, but pretty sure I'll be able to get out of here without a problem, so I'm just gonna keep on going. Lots of pine needles on this part of the trail. Actually, it looks kind of nice with the evergreens and the needles all over, even though there's not a lot of leaves on the trees. These evergreens and needles help kind of liven it up and make it a little more interesting, for me at least. So we're coming up on another little bridge crossing, a little creek running underneath it, which is always kind of neat. As you can see, there's a nice large wetlands area right here. I guess during summer probably teeming with life, but right now it's actually starting to ice over, as you can probably tell. I imagine it's very green and lush and full of a lot of interesting things probably, but it actually looks kind of cool right now with just the ice starting to form over it, and the plants are like frozen in it too, which is actually kind of cool. So there you go, it's frozen. Trail's pretty narrow here, but it's nice that there's still some greenery around this time of year. I don't know about you, but always makes me happy seeing lots of green. Alright, so here's a sign for camping area. You can see right down there, there's another sign. And I guess this is one of the designated camping areas, so if you wanted to, this is where you're supposed to stop, or at least one of the places. It's definitely getting dark. The sun is setting, but that's okay because we've pretty much made it back to the parking lot, so it all worked out well. All we have to do now is say goodbye to Smokey. Bye, Smokey. So it was a fun little trail. I think it would have been better in early fall, to be honest, rather than late fall. But it was nice, so I encourage you to look it up if you're in the area.